All right, let's talk weather. Stormy weather is long gone. Now we are taking a look at some of the damage left behind. Here's a shot from Air 11 in West Harris County on the left side of the screen, and on the right is a look at Dickinson. This afternoon, we have once again team coverage with meteorologist Pat Kavlin surveying the damage near the Katy area.
And Troy Kless is in the area where so many buildings were damaged. Let's start with you, Troy. What can you tell us?
Yeah, thanks, Ron. Well, you can actually see the damage to the Firestone tire shop behind me. Now, take a look. You can see it appears that the wind knocked out the walls and caused that roof to collapse. And you can see there is tons of damage here within the parking lot. Even this trailer got knocked over, too. Now, we were told that there were people working in the bar nearby at the time of the storm. And in fact, one of its customers was sleeping in his car in this parking lot when the storm came through. We spoke with Cody Jarrell, who says he was asleep in his car when the storm blew in, waking him up.
It was very, very traumatizing. It was very scary. It sounded like a train was going by.
He heard the rain and hunkered down in the back seat.
About 5 minutes after that, just all hell broke loose. I just, winds picked up, lifted my car. I actually felt my car lift up and set down in about the span of 5 or 10 seconds.
The National Weather Service confirmed a brief EF1 tornado struck the area with winds up to 90 miles per hour. Employees were still closing at the Bourbon Street Sports Bar, which was just feet away from this tire shop.
If this had happened an hour earlier and we still had people inside or people outside in the parking lot, very well could have been multiple injuries. There's not a lot of material inside the bar, but there are tables right next to those windows that got blown out.
There's relief that nobody got hurt, including Jarrell, who says he feels lucky to be parked where he was.
Yeah, if I was 100 feet this way, it would have been a whole different story.
The Harris County Fire Marshal's office says they will be assessing the damage at the buildings here. Now, they want to make sure that they are safe before people re-enter, and crews have been here throughout the day starting to clean up. Now, coming up at 5, we'll show you why some neighborhoods that are just, to the east of us are lucky that the tornado didn't hit there. Now, for now, I'll hand off to my colleague, meteorologist Pat Kavlin, who breaks down the science of what happened here. Pat.
Troy, I think it's really obvious, bottom line, is that anybody that was in this parking lot as that tornado went through is lucky to have made it out unscathed. Check out this building back here, what's left of a Firestone tire shop, completely collapsed, at least on this side of the building. The sign on the left-hand side here, completely torn to shreds. You're talking about a huge piece of metal, totally twisted, but this is the obvious damage. The not so obvious damage on the other side of the parking lot. Check that out in the distance. That air conditioning unit lifted from the top of one of these buildings and dropped onto the parking lot surface. And the National Weather Service says that is what tipped them off to this being a tornado.
Most of the debris is lying in a certain direction, but we have certain debris that's also lying opposite that. We had an large commercial air conditioning unit on top of this roof that was blown into the parking lot, even though most of the other damage was blown this way. That's represents there was actually some circulation there, which is a defining factor for it being a tornado.
Right, so a lot of cleanup obviously going on right now. They're actually making some pretty fast progress here. A lot of the debris put into piles. We've got crews that are boarding up the windows of that bar that were totally blown out. But we've got meteorologist Kim Castro right now. Kim, we were here last night. We were in studio last night. We were watching these storms. We had talked about the fact that these storms were a real possibility. I got to tell you, I have been through 5 or 6 different tornado scenes, aftermaths, and what really stands out to me is how compact this is.
Yeah, it really is picking one spot and wreaking havoc within that area. And then Pat, I noticed your surrounding. It's a pretty reinforced area. It looks like a strip mall, but it's those really vulnerable structures that people need to be mindful of, right? When we have storms like these that are on the horizon, to try and stay away from, because those are the first to go, as we can see from your shot.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's really amazing, and I think what was a hallmark of this being a tornado, any meteorologist that has had experience with tornadoes is you know how localized that damage is. The Mexican restaurant over here, relatively untouched, while just across the parking lot, you got that Firestone tire shop that was pretty much demolished. So an incredible scene out here. Kim, you've got a little more on the breakdown of what this storm did as it went through.
Yeah, Pat, I mean, the weather team really nailed it as far as the timing goes, which is why it's so important to keep up the forecast days leading up to this event. We're able to pinpoint the hour which this was going to happen, and it did. And those are the times that you want to make sure you are safe and inside in a secured space, because we saw the power of this line of storms. I mean, right overhead over the Katy area by 3 in the morning, bringing about thousands of lightning strikes. Of course, that force of the rotating wind and the straight line wind impacts went all the way down to the coastline with damage there as well. Wind gusts reported just from straight line impacts at 65 miles an hour, and that does contribute to quite a bit of damage. You can tell how fast this line of storms was moving. It is now in Panama City, Florida, already sparking up severe thunderstorm warnings there as well. Here at home, we're starting to see a strong north breeze, which is good news. It brings in drier air. We've got a nice stretch of weather coming up for us here shortly. So the Panhandle of West Texas already drying up. Their dew points have dropped dramatically. We're seeing our dew points drop too, which means we're starting to tap into that drier, more comfortable air. Right now, 72 degrees at the big airport. Temperatures have dropped to 7 degrees. The breeze, it's kicking out of northwest, sustained at 17 miles an hour. Those gusts getting up to 30, but that is going to bring us a really nice, tranquil next couple of days filled with sunshine. Guys, the 7-day forecast is straight ahead.
All right, thank you so much, Kim. Remember, our KHOU 11 mobile app is a great way to stay weather smart. Download the free app to keep up with our forecast.
Yeah, it's been busy. Next, Harris County.